Every time a new Marvel or DC film releases, we always talk about this, how somebody feels wronged or was directly wrong or impacted by the release of the film, credits, monetary gains, and much more. This time, one of the co-creators of Wolverine is not happy. So as most of you know, Wolverine was co-created by multiple people. It's not just a creation of one person. Much like Deadpool, yes, Rob Liefeld came up with the concept of the character, but everything people love about Deadpool was literally written by other people that evolved the character to become the Deadpool that they love. Like the fourth wall thing and all the memes and all that, that was not Rob Liefeld. Wolverine is in the same position because multiple people worked on creating that character. So when it comes to who that character is today, obviously there's been dozens of writers that have evolved it. But the original creators, they obviously share credit on the creation of the character. Enter one of the co-creators, Roy Thomas, who talked a little bit with The Hollywood Reporter about his credits on the film. Now, this is like the first time that I can remember that most people are also pointing it out that Roy has actually been given credit for Wolverine's co-creation. And again, we've seen this before. You know, multiple times in the past, we've seen Stan Lee get credit for characters that were literally created by Steve Ditko, for example. And I think everybody's aware of WB and DC and how Bob Finger was pretty much shut out of all Batman royalties and credit up until like 6 years ago. And it was all given to Bob Kane, who literally wanted Batman to be nothing like he ended up being. It's just how it goes. So Roy talks about this, talking about how he just believes that his name should have been first when it comes to the creation of these characters, because he's the one that came up with the concept of the character and what the character would inevitably become. And that he feels like that this is the same thing when it comes to the Beatles, when you name them. People remember the one that's up front, Paul McCartney. But then the others, it's just like, whatever. And he also mentions how it's like this with Jack Kirby and Stan Lee and others, that the first name always gets the credit and the other ones are sort of tossed to the side. And it's hard to disagree with him and find fault in his argument, you know. There's still many comic book characters out there, when they appear in films, that their creators are not given the proper credit. And this is typically due to the stingy studios like Disney and Marvel not wanting to pay out literal pennies. Like in some instances, it would be a couple $1,000s at most. And you're talking about a film that's going to make $1 billion, and they can't afford to pay one of these creators $5,000, so they'd rather just not do it at all and pretend like they don't exist. And they're getting better at that, but still, I understand what he's saying, and it continues to be a problem, and hopefully it changes. Maybe it will, but who knows? This is a problem that the industry has and has had for a long time, and I don't think it's ever going to go away. And it's unfortunate, but this is just the way that industry and business works.